Here we found Diego again.
Tell me something about the old camp.
It's the biggest and most powerful of the three camps. Gomez and his guys control the camp and thereby the whole ore trade. Once a month, the king sends us everything we need. We've got the old guy in our grip, you understand?
Got him by the
He
balls.
sends us wine, bread, meat, weapons, everything. You can also get some of it. All you have to do is join Gomez's people.
What about the two other camps?
The two other camps split up to pursue their crazy escape plans. There's the new camp in the west of the colony, where the mages think they can just detonate the barrier as soon as they've scraped enough ore together. And then there's the sect loonies in the east. Their camp is in the middle of the swamp, and they're praying to their idol to set them free. He hasn't responded so far. If I were you, I wouldn't waste my time on those madcaps.
So, as much as Diego's kind of playing up how great the old camp is, I don't feel like he really believes that. I think he just believes that it is simply the better option, because the other two are just kind of little batshit.
Tell me more about the barrier.
There isn't much to tell. It's impenetrable.
What happens if I just walk out of here?
The last one who tried that reached the other side a dead man. This damn barrier lets you in, but you'll never get out of here.
If there's a way out, I'll find it.
You're already in a rush to get out of here, but you've only just arrived.
Can't exactly say it's a very welcoming place.
Take care.
But I figure I'll be a helpful little guy. Figure you guys wouldn't mind having a nice warm fire instead of sitting around these cold ashes. So there you go. Enjoy. You have a name.
I am new here.
Just arrived, have you? I'm Grim. I haven't been here for long either. I was thrown in with the load before you.
What's life like here?
Easy going, as long as you pay your share of protection money to the guards.
Oh yeah?
What do I have to do if I want to get admitted to this camp?
Well, first of all, you have to become a shadow. Therefore, you have to find somebody who supports you, somebody who explains everything to you and takes responsibility for you. If I was you, I'd try to keep close to Diego. I did it like that. He's quite all right. He'll make you take the test of faith. That's different from everybody. Then there'll be some other smaller tasks from other shadows. If you manage them, you'll be with us.
What was your test of faith?
I can't tell you, man. You have to be silent about things like that here.
Now, one of the things you might have noticed is that this game, among other reasons, is very different from other fantasy RPGs in that they have almost entirely a cast of American voice actors in the English localization. And it's interesting that it happened that way. You do it occasionally in some fantasy games, usually kind of low-budget ones, you do get American voice actors instead of classic and very suitable British talent. But it's one of the things that made this game very memorable to me. As cheesy and, like, low talent as it was, I loved most of the voice acting in these games, except the hero. The player character in this game has one of the worst voice actors I've ever heard in my life. Now, as you can see here, this is a bit of a gallows. Clearly they would hang people, and they would probably display them in that cage up until the moment of their execution. But we never see anyone executed on this gallows platform here, but it does have a secondary function. If you play any non-English version of this game, but also if you install some of the mods that restore an event that happens here. For some reason, the event was cut out of the English version, but even though it was even though it was voice acted in English, I'm not sure why it was cut out. It might have been for copyright reasons, but I will link to a video where it happens, so you can all see what's going on, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen in this version. But when I did Dark Mysteries, I did leave that part of the game. I did leave that event in part of the video. The problem is the entire video got blocked because of it, because of a copyright claim. It got blocked in certain countries, at least, just due to the copyright. Now, you see this very intimidating fellow standing at the gateway here. His name is Thoris, and Diego, in fact, did tell us to talk to him. But we'll worry about him a little bit later. I kind of want to go around and talk to a few more people.
Hey, man. New here? I haven't seen you before. I'll join you for a while, if you don't mind. I'm sure you'll need a friend.
Get lost.
You're not in a good mood today, are you? I'd better come with you. Tell me, where are we going? Or is it supposed to be a surprise? I like surprises.
Get lost.
You want to be on your own for a while, do you? I understand. I'll stay in the background.
Oh dear, this guy. I think he's gonna be a problem. Oh well. Hopefully it won't get in our way too much.
How's things?
Not bad. If you can cook well, you have many friends here. Would
I'm
you
sure
like
you
some
do.
of my rice stew?
Thanks.
You could do me a favor.
What's that?
What can I do for you?
You must be used to good food. I have a new recipe. Meat bug ragu a la snaff with rice and mushrooms. You can have as much as you want, but I still need 3 meat bugs and some hell mushrooms. 5 should be enough.
That sounds dreadful.
You want me to throw up?
You don't have to eat it, but I think at least you could try. If you happen to get the things, think of me. I've already sent somebody, but he just hasn't come back. Must have deserted to the new camp.
I think your pant leg is on fire there, buddy. You might wanna... Oh, never mind.
Where can I find meat bugs?
Everywhere where there's garbage laying around. You should be able to find some at the deserted huts near the castle wall. Don't get confused by their ugly looks. Once cooked, they are tasty.
I'm not sure I care to take your word for that, buddy.
Where can I find hell mushrooms?
If you leave through the south gate, that's the collapsed tower. You'll see a plain directly in front of you. There's mushrooms growing there.
Who was the guy you sent before me?
His name was Neck. He was pretty discontented here. I think he's in the new camp now. I sent him to collect mushrooms, but he didn't come back.
Interesting. Now, why is the music stopped? I liked it. So, what we've got going on here, you see a bunch of people just kind of standing around this little pit here. Looks like they're waiting to watch something. This is the arena, and it is...
Don't pay attention to me. I'll stay with you. Don't worry.
Fuck off, dude. So the arena is one of many things that didn't quite make it into the game. You can still fight with a couple people here, but it was originally intended that you could watch other gladiators fight and bet on matches and earn ore by gambling. You could also bet on yourself and pretty much repeatedly fight an assortment of gladiators and kind of make your own fame and fortune through it. But apart from mods,
Don't you have any plan of where you want to go?
I will kill you. So with some mods such as Dark Mysteries and Golden Mod, you do actually have a limited amount of fighting you can do in the arena. So, pretty cool. Alright, there's a fellow with a name here. Guy.
Hello.
I haven't seen you before. You're new here, aren't you?
I
Just
am
recently
indeed.
arrived.
Have you already decided which camp you want to join?
No, what do you think?
Well, it depends. Each camp has its advantages, I guess. Until you've made your decision, you can stay here. A hut just became available.
Ooh. Which one?
Which of the
Which
huts
seat can I take?
for myself?
The hut over there with the little canopy is empty.
Now, it's cool that he pointed. That's actually a very cool touch, because he will point, and he will point at the hut no matter which direction he's facing. So if I... Where are you going, buddy? So if I were to... Come on, dude. I don't know what you're doing. If I were to stand here when I ask him the same question...
Which of the huts can I take for myself?
The hut over there with the...
So he tries to point at it no matter which way he's facing. I think if it was behind him, I'm not sure he'd be able to pull it off.
Which of the huts can I take?
The hut over there.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even try to. He can only point with his right hand, apparently.
For a quiet place where we can talk for a bit or something?
No. I'm still trying to talk to this guy.
What are the advantages of the old camp?
If you pay protection money to the guards, you can have a laid-back life here. They always interfere if one of the paying diggers is attacked. Besides, you can only get the goods from the outside world cheap here. These things are unaffordable in the other camps.
Which goes against what the new camp guy, Ratford, told us.
Then the guards just watch until one of them kills the other. Then they do him in.
What goods are considered precious here?
Everything from
Whoa.
the outside world. Bread, cheese, and bacon, and above
Ooh,
all,
bacon.
beer and wine. Not the cheap rice schnapps from the new camp, but really good stuff. You always get a good price for weapons, and armor is really expensive. The guards took the old armor off the prison guards after they killed them. You can always recognize them by their armor. They only sell it to other guards. You could never get a hold of one as an outsider.
I think I've
I
heard
like
enough
it
about the
here.
old camp.
I don't know why he keeps interrupting me.
What are the advantages of the new
Cool
camp?
about getting your throat cut for a slice of bread, you should go there. No, it's not that bad, but it's different from here. Here, Gomez takes care that things are sort of peaceful. In the new camp, there is no law. The only ones powerful enough to have a say there are the water mages, but they're too busy studying the barrier all day.
Why should I join the sect?
Well, you better ask somebody from the sect camp. There are always a couple of novices in the camp, and I'm sure they can tell you a lot about the sect. I've never been there myself, but according to everything that's said, they must be really generous. None of the three camps seems to be as much in need of new people as the sect camp.
Not sure that's really encouraging. It sounds to me like they go through their novices a bit.
Which of the
Oh yeah, I already did that. Alright, well, that guy...
Is it possible we're walking in circles? I mean, I don't know where you want to go.
I'm going exactly where I want to go, and you're the one who is not leaving me alone. So he said the one with the canopy is open, but there are a couple ones with canopies here, so you have to make sure you go to the one he was actually pointing at, and you get a free ham. What is going on here? I did not do that. Let go! Thank you. Now, there are two chests here. They're both empty, but if you really wanted to, you could store stuff there. Now, I've always been nervous about sleeping in this game, simply because I've had the experiences where the game would crash when you do so I always save before I do it. Just a personal thing. Now at our daytime again, and I forgot that any NPC who's following you disappears when you rest. So Mud is gone. Oh, well, I never, if he never shows up again, then that means I couldn't quite wrap up what I wanted to do with him. Oh, no, there he is. He just went back to his house. But I don't really want you following me.
Could you please keep quiet for a minute?
Sure.
Good. Alright, well, I think it would actually be better for us if we went and talked to Thoris first, because it allows us to circle around and talk to a lot more people, get everything done at once. Now, I apologize if things have been pretty slow going so far. It's just that I want to be as in-depth with this walkthrough as possible. So I'm going to take my time with it.
You don't look as though you'd just let anyone get into the castle.
Only Gomez's men are allowed in the castle.
If I gave you a certain amount of ore, would you let me in the castle?
For a certain amount.
How much?
Why are the textures acting so weird?
It'll have to take a while to count the ore. Long enough to make sure me and my boys are busy counting while you slip by.
So tell me, how much?
1,000 nuggets should be enough.
1,000 nuggets?
Well, you could join up with Gomez. That'd get you in the castle for free.
Not to mention, it would keep me out of trouble. So it's interesting because the more we talk to Thoris, it's pretty clear that he has a very profound sense of duty and honor for a criminal, for a very dangerous cutthroat. It's never clear what he did before he was thrown into the camp, but essentially he has a very big sense of camaraderie and a devotion to duty. So it's interesting that he would be willing to abandon his principles for any sum of money whatsoever. I think the only reason is that he's convinced that you're not worth his time. So if by some miracle he managed to get 1,000 gold from you, that means he's got 1,000 gold while you waltz in there and get killed by the other guards. So it's no skin off his bones, I think.
I need to get into the castle. I have a letter here for the High Fire Mage.
And you expect me to let you stroll inside the castle to hand it over and collect your reward?
Yeah.
Okay, show me the letter.
I'm not letting you handle it. Forget it.
Okay, I've forgotten.
So what we did there actually went against Diego's advice. He advised that we do not tell anybody about the letter. Thankfully, Thoris has better things to do than worry about what we have to do for the mages. So there actually is no other opportunity to tell the mages to tell anyone about the letter for the mages. So you never really have to actually worry about screwing that up.
I want to work for Gomez.
Oh, yeah? And what makes you think Gomez will be interested in having you work for him?
Diego says you decide who Gomez is interested in.
Huh? If Diego thinks you're okay, why doesn't he take care of you? Look, let me explain. Diego's gonna test you. If he thinks you're good enough, I'll let you into the castle to see Gomez. Whatever happens after that is up to you, okay?
I'll talk to Diego. Why don't you give me the test?
It ain't that easy, kid. Any newcomer who wants to get anywhere needs a patron. That patron has to be one of Gomez's people. He'll test you. And if you fail, you're his responsibility. That's the law around here.
There must be something you want done.
No, the things we guards deal with are a bit above you, kid. You just stick to the tasks your patron sets for you.
I'm quite capable of doing anything you tell me to.
Oh, so you're intent on failing, eh? There is one thing that only someone who's not with Gomez can see to. But I'm warning you, you blow this and you'll be in mighty big trouble.
I'm ready for your task.
What I'm about to tell you is between you and me, and nobody else must ever hear about it. Understood?
Sure.
We have a problem with a guy from the new camp. His name's Mordrag.
I've heard of him.
Stealing from the ore barons. Of course, that applies to a lot of the rogues in the new camp. But this guy has the nerve to come to our camp and sell our stolen goods to our boys.
For taking me with you. We could do that more often. There's loads of more time left today.
Fuck off, dude. Whoa. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, for some reason there's a lot of problems with the textures right now. It never happened before. It must be because I'm recording. I think that's getting in the way a little bit, so... unfortunately the game crashed while I was talking to Thoris here, so... I have to skip through all that a bit.
I'm quite capable.
Oh, but what I'm about...
Sure.
Of course, that applies to a lot of the rogues in the new camp. But this guy has the nerve to come to our camp and sell our stolen goods to our boys. He's gone too far. But he knows I can't do anything about it. Because he's under the protection of the mages.
Hmm.
Sounds to me like the mages are your problem.
But they're a problem that's hard to solve. A few years back, one of the shadows tried to stab the High Magician of the Circle of Fire while he was sleeping. They found him later in the Outer Ring. In fact, he was scattered all over the Outer Ring.
I see. So the mages aren't exactly a problem that you can deal with cloak and daggers, then. God damn it, are you kidding me?
Why do the mages
Because
protect
they use
that
him as a
Mordrag?
gopher. Our local mages are in contact with the mages over in the new camp. They often send gophers back and forth. They're likely to become very unpleasant if I throw one of their gophers out of the camp or have him killed. You're new here. You'll be okay. But I'm responsible for what my boys do. That's why it's vital that you keep your mouth shut.
Where can I find Mordrag?
You'll find him at the south gate on the other side of the castle, just beyond the entrance. The bastard wouldn't dare come any further into the camp.
Do you want me to kill the guy?
I want you to make sure I never see his face around here again. I don't care how you do it.
I'll take care of it.
I've gotten used to you already. We'll have much fun together. I'm sure of that, aren't you? Where do you sleep, anyway? You can come to my place, no problem. Why did they put you in here, anyway? Do you like animals as well? They're not into that one bit. That's why they locked me in here. There are some people who constantly try to beat me up. Horrible guys from the new camp. Real cutthroats. The next time, I'll tell them that they'll have you to deal with in the future. And they'll be dead scared. Those bastards from the new camp will be amazed when they get to know that I have a protector. They'll piss themselves. That'll be fun. Normally, they'll finish people off quickly, but now they'll think twice. You know what? I'll do you a favor. I'll put in a good word for you, then perhaps you'll be admitted to the camp. Then we could meet every day. Some people think I'm a complete lunatic. But somebody like you would never hang out with a lunatic. People would talk about that, so they'll finally understand that they were wrong about me. You're my best friend here. The others only want to get rid of me all the time. I'm really grateful to you. Listen, this running around is really getting tiring. Shouldn't we look for a cozy place and get comfy somewhere? You're like a big brother to me. I never had a big brother, or a small one. My parents didn't want me, but I'm sure it was difficult for them.
Sure it was.
Where are you from? You must be happy as well that you finally found somebody who understands you. I'm from Carinus. Have you ever been there? Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Have you got something to eat for me? Since I'm some sort of visitor, it'd be polite if you gave me something. That's manners. My friends in Carinus taught me that. They really liked me. You think anybody's ever gonna visit us? Probably not. They wouldn't get out of here again, would they? Now that you're with me, we could show a few people where to go. These bastards have been harassing me for years. When I see one of them now, I'm gonna tell them a few things. The two of us are a dream team. We could take over the old camp. The Ore Barons wouldn't be a problem for us since we're a team. I'll think of a plan. Tell me, where are we going? Or is it supposed to be a surprise? I like surprises.
This little bastard. You better run, bitch. So that guy, that pig molesting son of a bitch has been the reason why you haven't seen a video for about 3 more days. I can't explain why it never occurred to me. Basically, the reason for all the dialogue skipping that was happening was because of him. He was trying to talk to me while I was talking to other NPCs. It was causing that really weird dialogue skipping glitch, and yeah, that's all there is to say about that. Now, because I've tried to explain the same things over and over and over and over again, I've kind of forgotten what I really wanted to say at this point. So, essentially, the problem... Well, I mean, that problem's been dealt with, but another problem I've been having is all that texture flickering that you have probably noticed, and I brought up every time it happened. That was the result of the Freddy's texture pack, and as much as I wished it would work, it simply does not. And so, instead, I'm sticking with ThielHater's texture pack, which is a much more basic one. It doesn't really change a whole lot, except things like some of the shadows. The skybox is obviously blue instead of that kind of ugly beige. Now, a lot of people didn't want me to use anything like this. They loved the color palette of the original Gothic. To be honest, I am not one of them. I really didn't care for the very dreary and just boring beige filter over everything. And so that's why I do like having this mod here, and it does sharpen things up a little bit, but overall it's not quite as detailed as Freddy's texture pack was, which legitimately replaced a lot of the textures with much higher resolution ones from Gothic 2 for the most part. And it's not the only texture pack I've ever actually had that kind of problem with, so it's unfortunate. I don't know what it is, maybe just in my system, that is preventing these texture packs from actually working properly. It seems like it's constantly struggling to keep the textures loaded for some reason. I don't really know how better to explain it. And so that one had to go. It was just way too distracted. And even this one does seem to have some problems. And overall, it's just, for some reason, I feel like the game has more problems than I'm used to. But you see that kind of blue outline on these buildings here. I'm having the same problem actually in Gothic 2. I don't know what Snaff is still freaking out about. But yeah, I'm having the same problem in Gothic 2 as well every time I install the Enhanced Edition mod. And the biggest problem with it is all these buildings that have that blue outline around it cause some problems every time I'm inside them. And it's really hard to demonstrate because it doesn't seem to be working as much here. But when I stand inside them, things like the HUD and like particle effects all just start flickering like mad. And I don't know, I don't think it's going to be as much of a problem here, but that's my famous last words that have gotten in the way of the last 5 or 6 attempts to record this. And apart from that, I'm hoping that we don't run into any more problems. Because I've continually delayed this for technical reasons for much too long. And I think that is all there is to be said about that. I did end up doing several reinstalls, so I kind of have to try and catch up to where I was. But first things first, let's talk to Diego.